one of the most exciting knockout artists in the heavyweight division. From humble beginnings in the white-collar world to the bright lights of big fight nights, Fabio Wardley is here ahead of your first title defence of your WBO world title. How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you, mate. All going well. All doing well. Everything's good. We're on track. We're moving towards Saturday night.
Congratulations on promotion. It feels like everyone's asked you that so far today. Ipswich are having a great moment right now in the last few weeks and months.
Yeah, look, we've come on strong at the back end of the season, and it did run down to the wire to a bit, but the boys held firm and got it over the line. So back in the Premier League we go for next season.
Did you see Ed Sheeran splitting the G?
Yeah, I did see that. He does love a Guinness, the boy. But yeah, it's good. It's good. In terms of the support the club has from me, from Ed, from everyone around him, and obviously everyone locally as well. I think that's the extra man that gets them over the line in big contests like that.
I have just overheard as well, you can't really get stuck into celebrations yet, unfortunately, but I understand a lot of your family and friends were there.
Yeah, they were. Again, the family through and through are all Ipswich fans, and a lot of them that were there for the last game of the season, obviously a big win, and then they were there part of the parade on Monday as well. So yeah, they've been fully enjoying the celebrations and everything going on.
Yeah, just talking on family and friends, obviously you started off in white collar. Are you still friends with some of the people that you fought?
Yeah, I'd use the term friends loosely. I was never really friends with them in the first place. But so every now and then I'll speak to them, or we'll cross paths, or I'll see them one way or another. So yeah, it is a funny one. But it's funny because they're always really supportive as well, and they're want me to kick on and do well and whatever else. So yeah, they're all good lads. That's
why I kind of mention it, because you don't. A lot of people fight white collar expecting it to be another pub goer or darts player, and someone just wanted to some of them do it for a midlife crisis thing. So to fight what would be at the time a future heavyweight champion is quite wild.
Yeah, look, it's it is a bit of a mad one, I guess, for them when they look at it as well, when they go Christ, yeah, 10 years ago I was boxing with him and now he's doing XYZ. So it's a funny turn of events how everything can all kind of come around.
What was your white collar record?
4-0 with 4 knockouts.
What would you say, if you had to compare your career to a Rocky movie, which one would you say? I was thinking about this earlier, I couldn't quite put my finger on which one I'd say.
It's got to be the first one, I guess, because...
Well, he lost the first one.
Yeah, and the second one. I don't know, maybe it's the story of the first one, but with the win at the end, something like that. Because... obviously, just in that as well, just comes out of nowhere. Again, slightly different. He was already a pro and whatever else, but just kind of comes out of nowhere and gets to fight at this top level, and gives a good account of himself. And I think that's all I've been doing throughout my career, giving a good account, but also obviously getting the wins, which has been crucial. But when I've had fights and when I've stepped up to a higher level, whatever else, no matter the circumstance, I've always given a good account of myself. And I think that's where maybe there's some good comparisons.
Yeah, you had a really good chat with Jim White, Simon Jordan in studio a few months ago, I think mid-Feb. Do you remember when you mentioned about how you could be a problem for Daniel in the early stages of the fight as well? Why do you think that is?
Look, don't get me wrong, I'm a problem from the beginning to the end. But especially in the beginning of fights, I think I'm very sharp, I'm very switched on, I'm never trying to hang around. I'm not trying to drag it out any longer than it needs to be, and especially not with someone who punches like Daniel does. I'm there to kind of get through him and take him off and get him out of there as quick as possible. So I'm going to be dangerous throughout, but don't get me wrong, especially in the early stages.
Yeah, because a lot of people mention the most recent performances in those late stoppages, but Fraser Clark, that was as early as it can possibly get.
Yeah, look, and that's only one of many first round, second round knockouts, whatever on my record. And don't get me wrong, they're at different levels, but it just goes to show what I can do early on and how I can get people out of there. I've proved as of late that whether it be in the back end of the fight, I still carry the same power, same energy, whatever else. But I guess maybe that's taken away from the fact that I am very sharp in the early stages as well. Again, you saw in the Parker fight, I had him going in the second round, and there was an opportunity to get him out of there.
This is such a great fight for so many reasons. I think the main narrative, not to say that people know what they're talking about more than you, but a lot of what's been driven is Fabio late. Do you think you can bring him into those deep waters, given that there's a narrative of Dubois and Late, and I know you understand that with the fights against Usyk, for example.
Yeah, look, it depends what Daniel kind of shows up and what voices have been in his ear in terms of the training corner and what they say to him, and if they tell him to stay away from me early on. I think if anything that maybe reveals their hand a bit, that they're a bit shy in the sense of wanting to compete with me level on in them early stages, and maybe they think it's better for him to kind of box and stay away from me in that sense. And then I think that's bad advice. I don't think that's playing to his benefits, playing to his skills.
No matter how the fight goes, at some point you will bring him into the trenches. What happens when you do that?
I think we all know what happens there. I think I'll run him over, like in the trenches, in the deep waters of it. That's where I'm at my best. That's where I compete the best. That's where I've got a clear advantage over Daniel. And if he wants to meet me there, then best of luck to him. But I don't think he will.
Does this end in stoppage?
Sorry?
Does this end in a stoppage?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Look, whether it goes in the first or goes in the 12th, but one way or another, he's getting out of there.
What did you make of Tyson's performance April 11th?
It was good. You could see the time out of the ring, and there was a bit of rust to shake off, but that's what that fight was for, ultimately. It took him 4 or 5 rounds or so to get into his groove, to find his feet, to get things moving. But once he kind of warmed through, it was relatively comfortable for him. It wasn't really too problematic. But again, that was the whole point of that fight and the whole point of that opponent as well.
From a non-biased journalistic perspective, I was there on the night and I thought you would have given him a real test. What do you think would have happened if you were there in the ring with him April 11th?
Yeah, look, I start way sharper, way faster, and do a lot more.
Great timing.
And do a lot more than Makhmudov does. Like I'm much sharper, I'm much quicker with the way I put my punches together, and the way I go about my work as well. So yeah, I think it maybe was advisable and a good choice for him to have a kind of more of a warm in rather than jumping straight in with me.
You back yourself against Tyson?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
What do you make of this AJ Tyson fight? Obviously, it's a mega fight, one of the biggest in boxing at the or in British boxing history, maybe. Do you think so? And who do you think would win that?
I don't know if at this stage it's one like. There's no taking away from the fact that it is a massive fight, regardless of when it happens. Even if it happened in 10 years or something like that, it'd always be huge because there's always that curiosity. But it is definitely past its sell-by date. So in terms of the draw, the allure of everything, I don't know if it will be too huge. I feel like it'd be one of those events that kind of come and go pretty quickly. We'll be like, oh, that happened, and then it will move on. It won't be like, I don't know if it'll stay very long in our minds. But one way or another, we're all going to be encapsulated by it. We're all going to be interested. We're all going to be tuning in and watching.
So you kind of think like a Eubank Ben 2 vibes. The one was the great fight. That was kind of a better one, but more like the second.
Yeah. That's a good comparison. Something like that.
Who do you think wins? Now, they're not in their primes, as everyone and yourself has just mentioned, but do you have a favourite at this point?
It's hard to say at the moment because obviously Tyson Fury has been able to have his little warm-up and run out and show where he's at. AJ hasn't been able to do that as of yet. I know he's got it booked and it's in the diary, but he hasn't been able to do that yet. So off his recent kind of form and performances, I'm not really going to judge the Jake Paul one. That's not really a true reflection. And also, obviously, we know everything surrounding the incident that went on with him, and that's not only a physical thing you need to come back from in terms of injuries and things, but also a mental battle that you need to return from. So it's a bit of a question mark at the moment. I think something we'll know a lot more after AJ has his fight as well.
Yeah. What do you make of that one against Christian Prenger?
Yeah, look, ultimately, the opponent is very underwhelming. I think we're all very clear on that. We know what it is. We know it's a warm-up. I think that maybe they could have done a bit better in terms of making it slightly more competitive. But again, it is what it is, and ultimately, I think they just want to make it to the finish line, which is the Fury fight for them. Yeah,
of course. Just a couple of quick ones. Atama's obviously your stablemate. You two, you've said, are on different paths. But who would you put him in there with next?
Like he's ready. He's very much ready to be like are them kind of top 10 guys. So like, you need someone durable, smart, like boxing IQ smart as well. Maybe like a Hergovic or something like that. That's someone who I think he would enjoy having a fight with, and that'd just be a good contest anyway. Yeah. But I think you'd get to see a lot more variety from Moses against an opponent like that. Someone who's going to pose a few questions as well.
We spoke at the start of the interview about your journey being so inspiring to many people, I'm sure. What's your message to younger people who are watching and they see your journey, they see the relatability? What would you say to them in terms of never giving up and chasing your dreams?
Yeah, look, believe in yourself and back yourself. That's what I've done throughout my career. Is I've always just said, yeah, I can do it, and believed in myself. And maybe I didn't have the experience, or I definitely didn't have the experience when I came in, but maybe like everything wasn't immediately in front of me and all laid out, but I just backed myself to find a way and make my way through.
The journey, the marathon continues this Saturday?
Yeah, it does. The train keeps going on.
Don't blink.
Don't blink.